I think Bossypants may be the only book where I have literally laughed out loud. That makes it a very dangerous book to read when you're reading it on the tube. But I will say, read this book with pride in public because it is phenomenal and without a doubt one of the best autobiographies I've ever read, maybe the best. And that's partly because I am madly in love with Tina Fey and I think that she can do no wrong, within reason. But it's also because it's so incredibly written. It's no secret that Tina Fey is an incredible writer. She is a fantastic writer. But this is the first time I'd ever read anything that she'd written that was purely prose. And I have to say, I'm astounded at just how witty, clever, funny, entertaining, engaging, gripping this is. It is taking the format of a traditional autobiography. It goes from her younger years and then how she kind of got into acting and the improv that she started to do, and then how that led her onto the likes of Mean Girls and 30 Rock. Now, I started to read this while I was about halfway through watching 30 Rock. I got 2/3 of the way in and I stopped reading because it was too good and I just could not allow myself to finish it. And I have finally finished it about a year and a half later. And I'm very sad about that. So if you know nothing about Tina Fey, this will give you a very good overview of who she is, mostly who she is as a writer and comedian and actress, but as I said, it also looks at her early years and how she got into acting, how she met Amy Poehler, how she got onto SNL, and then where that led to from there. And just everything she writes is hilarious. And I was considering reading out a passage or two for this video, and I couldn't decide which one to read. So in the end, I decided to read none. You need to read the book to get how absolutely incredible it is. It's also very sentimental in parts when she talks about certain people in her family, when she talks about people in the industry. She's got a lot of love and praise for colleagues that she works with. She pokes fun at some of them from time to time, respectfully and tastefully. But for the most part, it is just a look at her life through her own eyes, and it's absolutely beautiful. There are random tidbits in it. For example, there's a very interesting, just one-page Q&A about 30 Rock with a couple of semi-sensible questions and some that are just ludicrously funny. This book also taught me something I did not know about Tina Fey, and it's common knowledge, and I think it might be a comforting thing that I didn't know. I had no idea she had a scar on her face. I had zero idea about that. And now that I know she's got it, I can kind of slightly see it, but even then, I don't think it's that obvious. And maybe I just think she's so utterly perfect that I can see no physical imperfections. I am that smitten. But I'm not going to say, if you didn't know that as well, I'm not going to say how it happened. It's pretty horrific, actually. And to be honest, the book doesn't go into that much detail. It certainly doesn't turn it into a kind of sob fest where she says how it maybe mentally affected her or anything like that. The book is very light, but it also addresses serious topics. And yet she manages to address serious topics quite lightheartedly, but without doing it flippantly, and still giving the topics the respect and attention they need. And saying that out loud, that doesn't sound possible, but Tina Fey makes it possible. This book is incredible. Bossypants will lift your mood. If you are female, you will feel empowered. It's not a feminist book as such, but because she's very much at the head of her game in a world that is typically or traditionally male-dominated, she's very inspiring. Even before I read this, I loved her, found her very inspirational, but after reading this, I feel like I want to just take this book to my heart and never let it go, and I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. Bossypants is hilarious. It's a little emotional every now and then. It's cleverly written, it's witty. It's basically Tina Fey in paper form.